Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to shit on some books with me. This is empty. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you know that it took me a lot of effort to actually sit down and film today. I don't know why. This is one of my favorite videos to film throughout the whole year, and I know this is one of your favorite videos to watch. So let's get into it, shall we? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie. If you're new here, hope your day is going well. And today, we're gonna be doing the worst books I read in 2018. These are books that I read in the year of 2018, not books that just came out in 2018. These were the books that I just didn't fucking like. So I'm gonna tell you why I didn't like them. Everybody cool with that? Let's do it. Moving on. The first book on my list is Revenge in the Wild. I've forgotten the author because I fucking hated this book. Whoa, shocker, right? This book follows a girl in a Western steampunky world. There's just too many fucking things going on with this book, basically. It's steampunky, it's post-apocalyptic, there's cannibals, there's elves, there's vampires, there's steampunk. I already said that, didn't I? Whatever, there's just a lot of things going on, and there was like 4 love interests, and a vampire bit her thigh at some point, and not in a fun way, so basically I didn't like it. It disappointed the hell out of me. Moving on. And coming in hot with the tea, number 9 on my list is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyan. I've probably pronounced your name wrong, I'm really, really sorry. So guys, this book, bear with me here, this book has been very divisive. I have seen either people love it or people fucking hate it, and I'm one of those people that fucking hated this book. I gave it 2 stars, mostly because I felt like I had to give it 2 stars because the world and the class system in this book are super interesting, and I do think that that was really cool and I enjoyed that. I didn't enjoy anything fucking else about this book. It severely disappointed me. This is about Lei. She is basically kidnapped and made to go into the harem of the Demon King, and there she falls in love with another girl. But Lei is a fucking dumbass, and B, her love interest is just so much more interesting than her, and the book really should have followed her love interest because she was way more interesting. 3, this book, B, 3, C, whatever, you get what I mean. This book is supposed to address sexual assault and trauma, and it does that, but in a way that I didn't appreciate. It didn't do a very good job, and I honestly think the main character was victim blaming some of the other characters that were assaulted, and she treated these women very, very poorly, and I was not a fan, as you can probably fucking tell. So unfortunately, this book and I did not get along, and I will probably be getting rid of this copy because I have no interest in reading on in this series because it just pissed me the fuck off, especially the ending. I'm not even gonna keep talking about it because it's not worth my time anymore. And number 8 on my list is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This book I didn't actually hate, I was just really disappointed by. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Uprooted by Naomi Novik was supposedly taking place in the same world, but that's not what was going on in this book whatsoever. This is kind of a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, and it was just boring. Like, the biggest thing about this book was that it bored me. Like, it's very beautifully written, it has very interesting characters, but I didn't give a fuck about them. And I didn't give a fuck about what was happening to any of them. I was honestly rooting for the bad guys in this book, which is not a good thing, typically speaking, unless you're the Darkling from the Grisha trilogy. But yeah, so this book bored the shit out of me, so there's that. And number 7 on this list is Play, the second book in the Stage Dive series. I didn't read the first book. It's a romance series, so you don't really have to, but the love interest in this was femininely disgusting. So gross. I had gotten back into romances and smutty novels recently, and I read this because I heard a lot of people talking good stuff about it. I don't think people have read it recently because when I read this, it was one of the worst alpha male, puppy dog, wants to be mothered love interests that I've ever read, and it just skeezed me the fuck out and made me want to vomit in my mouth. Like, for the entire audiobook. And let's be real, this audiobook was not that long, but I hate listened to it because I could not understand why the main character, who seemed pretty fucking smart on her own, was even interested in this guy. He was just a wannababy and I didn't fucking like him, and that's why it's on my list, because it pissed me the fuck off. Number 6 is The Cheerleaders by Cara Thomas? One of those fucking things. This is about a girl who is investigating the deaths of 5 cheerleaders, one of them being her sister, like a couple years after they all die, mysteriously within like the same month as each other. But the thing is, when you start this novel, what you know right out the gate is, A, the main character, who's like 16 or 17, was sleeping with a guy who's 6 years older than her, and he got her pregnant. Like, right out the gate, you know that she had an abortion. And then for the entire book, we just pretend that didn't happen. We just pretend that wasn't a big deal. We just pretend that that wasn't a fucking statutory rape situation. And then at the end of the book, there was no real resolution to that. At all. At all. Like, what? No. Don't include statutory rape as just a, oh, that was fun little tidbit in your fucking thriller. No. No. Absolutely fucking not. Number 5 on my list is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. This book, guys, made assassin nuns boring. How is that possible? How do you make assassin nuns boring? You name them stupid things like pot and kettle and apple and broomstick. That's how you do it. I read this entire book. It was like 700 to 800 pages long. And I was bored the entire time. By the end of the book, someone died and I was like, I don't remember who you are, pot or kettle. I don't care. And you're dead. I know you were at some point referenced at some other point in the book, but I legitimately don't give a fuck about you. And you're dead. Oh no. So yeah, that's why I didn't like that book. Moving on. Number 4 is Queens of Ennis Lear by Tessa Grattan? I don't fucking remember. Whatever. So this book was a retelling of King Lear, in like the Game of Thrones style, but it was also boring. It had a very disjointed prose style that I didn't like. It was like kind of slogging through really wordy high fantasy, but like not in a fun way. Like I really like high fantasy and I really like flowery writing, but this just felt weird and like I had to reread pages over and over again before I could understand what the fuck was happening. And the characters were super unlikable to the point of I didn't like any of them. Like unlikable characters, you can still like them because that's part of the reason why you craft a character to be unlikable. You like them despite the fact that they're unlikable, but all these characters were just fucking unlikable and I didn't give a fuck about them. But I stuck it out, I read the whole thing, and regretted it because it was a waste of fucking time, guys, and I was very upset. And number 2 on my list is no, I've skipped one. And number 3 on my list is Barberie Station by somebody. And this book, guys, managed to make space, pirate, lesbians fucking boring. How is that? How did you do that? How? I read the whole book and don't remember a single fucking thing from the plot line, other than the fact that one of the main characters who was dating the other main character kept thinking about how she wanted to propose to her girlfriend, even though there's people fucking dying. Maybe time and place not to, you know, propose to your girlfriend. Not a good time. Okay? Okay? Really boring. I was so hyped for that book. Such a letdown. Moving on to number 2, which is one of my all-time favorite books to rant about. I have a full rant review on my channel. I will link it up in the card if I remember. And of course, we are talking about Acha Parts, or I Pass Gas, or any of the fun names that I have for this book by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I know Sarah J. Maas gets a lot of fucking hate. And this book didn't help her case. This book was the same price as some of her other full-length novels, and literally the only thing that happened in this book was Christmas gifts and baby making. And I'm not going to fucking explain to you why I think baby making in a teen book is inappropriate, but it's inappropriate, okay? It just is. And this was one of the dumbest decisions Sarah J. Maas and her editing team could have fucking come up with, because not even the mediocre sex scenes could fly this shit by even her most staunch stans, and that's unfortunate. And yeah, I happen to love ranting about Sarah J. Maas, y'all know this, but this was just a fucking travesty, and I can't. Fucking flying sex, okay? Flying sex. Just fucking weird. Weird fucking. I'm gonna move on because we're gonna be here all day. Alrighty, and then my number one biggest disappointment of the year, my number one most hated book was Furyborn by Claire Legrand. Now, some of you probably are like, excuse you, you're wrong. No, I'm not. So this book just didn't work, okay? This is about two queens living in like 200 years apart from each other. And one queen, you know from the first fucking chapter, doesn't die. And then she spends the entire book going through death-inclined events and doesn't die. And so there's no tension. You get what I'm saying? No tension. None whatsoever. Time travel can be done well, but not this way. It's not good. It's not okay. And also, the other character just spent the entire book just being a dick to everybody, and that was the only difference between their voices. And if you've been on my channel long enough, you know that I really fucking hate when female characters have no difference between their voices, other than the fact that one's a bitch and the other one's kind of a Hufflepuff. There's literally no fucking difference between them, and I hated that. On top of that, this also had some really gratuitous, overly described sex scenes in another YA book. Can we please move on from the overly described sex scenes, please? I don't care about the euphemisms. I think that's more appropriate, in all honesty, than whatever the fuck happened in this book, because it grossed me the fuck out. And also, the only reason there was sex scenes in this book was because the bitch from the past timeline had to be pregnant, because, you know, legacies. I don't fucking know. I did not like it, and it was bad, and yeah, it was bad, and I did not like it. I don't really know how to go into more depth on that. I could give you guys a rant review about why I didn't like it, but that means I would have to go back and reread it, and I'm not gonna do that. It's not gonna happen. So, those were my most hated books of 2018. I hope not everybody unsubscribed. And I hope you guys enjoyed the saltiness. I know you guys enjoy the saltiness. That's not like something that I'm too shocked by, but I hope you don't hate me. Even if you do, that's fine. All right, guys, I'm gonna go now. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Bye!